on the added value. So whatever do I add in this process? The workers that I put in, the capital that I put in, that is important. But I do not add the effect that my productivity has on the environment, for example. That's where that we cannot show that in our GDP.
So, by the way, now GDP and productivity. So we are moving to productivity, are we?
Yeah. So we're looking at productivity. So they are basically the same. The global domestic income is global domestic productivity.
Global domestic, what mean? Domestic.
Income and products. GDP is a GDI basically. Gross domestic income is gross domestic productivity, because the sum of all the outputs flows back to the as income. Basically, what we produce in firms, that's GDP, is equal to what we consume as workers, because we provide them back as factors production. So, income is households have income, and firms produce, right? So this is actually in balance. Productivity equals income.
I don't understand why productivity. Oh my God, completely confused. Oh my God, I tell you, okay, productivity no improvement past decade. You told me before, right? But how come this income is increasing?
So the income is not. Well, one of the things that is happening here is that the wage component is going down, and the dividends are going up.
Yeah, this means productivity is improving. But why no product? Just you show former slide, just wages not just stagnant, okay? Stagnant. Right. But dividend and renting and increasing and just actually distribute. Whereas people get more money, so it means the productivity increasing, right? But how come you just actually next slide is supposed to be the productivity is.
Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So basically we're gonna combine them. 1 second. Okay.
Yeah. This one is just very understandable. This
is understandable, right?
But next slide is
the next one is telling the same story. It's telling the same story. So yeah, basically, what we see, what we see here is that the labor component in our productivity is declining. Why is that? Basically, we are more and more using machines and less using labor in our products. So our labor share is actually decreasing. Now, productivity as a whole, the output is increasing. That means that the capital component is becoming bigger and bigger. Where it used to be like 80% labor, now it's only 20% labor. So the labor component in our production.
What do you mean 20%? This is just only 4%.
4%?
Yeah, just show this for 40 years. Only labor share is only declining 4%.
No. I mean, so if we consist, if production consists of the combination of capital and labor.
Yeah, I understand.
Initially, it was 80% labor, 20% capital. So if the productivity would grow, then 80% of that productivity growth would be translated into the increasing of wages. Right? Now we've come to the point where the production is being generated with relatively less and less labor, and not 80% of the production.
Yeah, this one is understand. This one is understand. So how come relating to the productivity?
So labor productivity has not been so dramatically increased.
Yeah, capital intensive. I think productivity should be
Yes. So basically, wages here, the wage component is increasing. So if you look at the title of this slide, increasing share for capital, the decreasing share of labor.
Oh, yeah. Okay, next slide. I understand this one.
So that's basically that's what we're seeing. Oh, sorry. Oh, let me go back to the other one was clear, the GDP website.
You're asking me? I understand.
Both of you.
But I don't understand. Next slide. You cannot reach to the focal point today. We need to discuss, right? Okay, we can do it.
This one you understand, right? So the labor share of income is actually decreasing.
Yeah, I understand this labor share of income.
Yeah, so an income is the sum of dividends and wages.
But don't misunderstand. Scale of left side is 68% down to 58. Okay, it means 10% down. Labor share of income, not so much. Okay.
That's true, but there is a divergence here.
Yeah, but of course, they have another reason, a lot of another reason, but I don't consider in detail. But tendency, I can understand what you mean. So we need to move on. We don't in detail. We are not economists.
Yeah, I am.
Right. So we can move on. And just tendency, I understand.
Okay. So we can see an unprecedented dramatic upturn in the global standard of living that was initially catalyzed by the first industrial revolution, greatly magnified by the second industrial revolution, and further heightened in the recent age of information technology and computer technology.
This is the point. Okay, so you use IoT, AI, biotech. Yes, this is the point.
Yeah, we must be heading for a period of raising productivity, economic growth, and prosperity, right?
This is the point. This is your voice said right, but you said no, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's not. So here, this graph is American output per hour of work is growing more slowly than it has since the early 1980s. We have the 5-year rolling average of annual growth productivity. We see that there is actually a declining trend here.
Why this productivity is going down?
So, well, that's a very good question. And basically, no. I mean, look, it's not going down. It's still growing. So as long as it's
okay. But
zero, it's still
no. What I'd like to say is every year, okay, productivity improving is 5%, 10%. This is my guess, my thought.
Right.
But this is only 3-4% or 2-1%. Why so low? It's a global average.
Well, I think actually that it has to do with the marginal productivity of
the global level, or just this one is only just a US?
This is US. This is only US.
US.
This is not. This is not global. This is only US.
Oh, okay. US. Okay, I understand. GDP. This is not productivity. This is GDP growth. Exactly, just the same figures. America's, GDP growth past those years.
Exactly. This is well, we're measuring the output per worker. So what the worker can do more.
Oh, okay, America. I thought this is global. Okay, this is America, the same as GDP growth. So
Yeah.
productivity is just only 1%
And
improvement.
if we were to look at the numbers for Japan, if we would look at the numbers for Europe, then they would be roughly the same.
And I think I do need to study because annual productivity growth means equal to GDP. So what this productivity definition means is last Saturday is my question. But still, I don't understand well. What productivity definition means?
So basically, it's how they contribute to the. So we have productivity, right? So we have labor productivity, we have capital productivity. We see that the share of labor in our productivity decreased, right? But we can say, okay, well, we have a growing output, but we see that there is a very limited attribution to the role of labor in that, and it is on the decrease. So we see that the output of our workers is not growing as fast as we would expect.
No, Ed, my question is simple, not like that. What is the equation of productivity? Okay, what kind of figures including productivity? How do we going to calculate productivity? This is my question.
Like I said, gross domestic product is gross domestic income.
It means productivity equal gross domestic product.
It's for labor productivity is that what is produced by labor, and capital productivity is that what is produced by capital.
Only two? No.
Yes.
How about interest?
Interest is basically a form of income that is paid back from the factories. So there's only the production function of Solo is, and I showed this on Saturday. That is the function of labor and capital. Those are the only two that we put into our production function. And we include the state of technology in there, but those are just.
You prepare some slide next one, right? But actually, why productivity is not increased? Oh, this one same.
Yep.
This is just say productivity, labor productivity, and labor productivity is just almost plus minus.
Yes. So there is only a 0.4% annual growth in output per hour of work. So why is that? But it's surprising. I completely agree with you. It's surprising because we would expect that labor would become more and more effective with the better tools that we have. But it's not showing that.
Yeah, my simple question is okay. I try to remember the last Saturday. This labor productivity is minus plus minus plus is almost 2 or 3%. And but they are doing a lot, like for example outsourcing or AI technology is recently they are implementing a lot, right? How come they
okay, but we cannot see that yet. AI technology and things like that. Those are things that are on the horizon. That's not really it's not really reflected.
Wait a minute, outsourcing is already happening in the Philippines and India. From United States, lots of outsourcing. Like American government is social security calculation and sort of things. Everything going to India. But how come their labor productivity is not improving?
Yeah, this is not.
And
India.
also, I tell you, also the Rust Belt, and there are no manufacturing factory there. Now is much more shifting to service industry. But how come their labor productivity no growth?
Well, so basically, when we look at productivity, we look at products. So, okay, let's put the textile. We have been looking at the textile industry, right?
Textile is diminished industry in the States.
Right.
I'm talking about just car industry is is almost gone in the States, right? Compared with China.
Yeah.
Drastically reducing the employees.
Right. Yeah.
Compared 10 years. This is like a 2013,
Right.
2017 is a 20% declining the labor force. But instead, they are increasing like Facebook or some Amazon and the kind of service industry drastically increasing, right? Employees increasing. Right. But how come labor productivity is stable?
Okay. So